You are being evaluated right now, not for your kindness, not for your patience, for your power. Every time a message sits unanswered and you justify it, you are stepping down the hierarchy without realizing it. You tell yourself they are busy. You tell yourself not to overthink. You tell yourself you are calm. That story is how submission disguises itself, because this was never about time. It was about control. You feel the tension in your chest, the impulse to check again, the small spike of relief when they finally reply. Your nervous system learns a lesson in silence. Wait, and you will be rewarded. That is not communication. That is conditioning. Machiavelli warned that men judge more by the eye than by the hand, and those who appear patient are often the ones being managed. Delayed responses are not accidents. They are dominance calibration. Silence is intermittent reinforcement. Waiting is subconscious submission. Your reaction is data they collect. You are not losing minutes, you are losing frame. This discomfort exists because biology was never designed for modern power games. Your amygdala reads silence as threat. Your dopamine chases resolution. Society trained you to be agreeable and grateful for attention. Today we cut that program out. This will not feel polite. It will not feel nice. It will feel like standing still while your instincts scream. Good, that is the surgery. When this ends, you will never wait the same way again. Drop this affirmation in comments. I do not chase response, I set tempo. Silence triggers the oldest alarm in your nervous system. When a message hangs unanswered, your amygdala reads it as risk. Not danger in words, danger in status. The body responds before the mind. Heart rate lifts. Focus narrows. You feel the pull to resolve the gap. That pull is not love or interest. It is threat management. Evolution trained you to restore connection fast because exclusion once meant death. Modern life exploits that wiring. Delayed replies create urgency without effort. Your brain fills the empty space with stories that favor the other person. Busy, tired, important. Each excuse lowers your position. Compliance follows quietly. You wait. You soften. You over-explain. Power moves without being named. This is the snare. Not silence itself, your reaction to it. The override begins with tempo. Tempo decides rank. Those who move on their own clock lead the exchange. Those who chase alignment follow it. Slowing your response is not a tactic to manipulate. It is a correction to stop leaking authority. You choose when to engage because you have a life that does not stall for signals. Do not perform indifference. That is still reaction. Instead, remove urgency from your body. Keep working. Finish the task. Leave the phone where it is when you reply. Keep it clean and brief. No apology, no explanation. Clarity without heat. This teaches your nervous system that silence is neutral. People test power unconsciously. They delay to see who bends first. When you do not bend, the test ends, not with conflict. With recalibration, respect grows where stability appears. Unpredictability fades when it no longer pays. This is not about games. It is about stopping self-betrayal. Every rushed reply tells a story about your worth. Rewrite it with discipline. Hold tempo. Let others feel the gap. Control returns the moment you stop filling space that was never yours to fill. Intermittent replies are not casual. They work because the brain mistakes uncertainty for value. When responses arrive at random intervals, dopamine fires harder than with consistency. This is the same mechanism behind gambling. No steady reward, only the promise of one. Your attention locks in, not because the person is special, because your chemistry is being played. Each delayed reply creates a spike, then a crash. Anticipation builds, relief hits. Attachment deepens. The source becomes important without earning it. Over time, you check more often. You adjust tone. You wait. This is not attraction. It is conditioning. Your nervous system is learning to orbit their availability. Power shifts the moment your schedule disappears. The correction is not withdrawal or coldness. It is rhythm. You decide when you are available and you stay loyal to that structure. No instant replies to sudden warmth, no emotional surge when they reappear. You answer when it fits your day, not when it scratches the itch. This starves the dopamine loop. Without randomness, the bond weakens. Your focus returns. Your body stops leaning forward. You feel steadier, less reactive. That stability is felt on the other side. People sense when their presence no longer hijacks you. Do not explain the change. Explanation invites negotiation. Simply respond cleanly and evenly. Short messages, direct meaning, nothing extra. The goal is not to punish. The goal is to remove the chemical hook. Once variable reward is gone, the dynamic clarifies. Those seeking control drift away. Those seeking respect adjust. Either outcome restores leverage. This is discipline at the level of the nervous system. You are not resisting a person. You are retraining your reward pathways. When dopamine stops dictating your timing, you regain choice. And where there is choice, there is power. Your mind hates empty space in social situations. When there is no response, it rushes to explain the silence. Not with facts, with comfort. It tells you they are busy, distracted, important. Those explanations feel polite, but they steal your frame. Each excuse quietly elevates the other person while shrinking you. Status shifts internally before it ever shows externally. This reflex comes from a deep need for harmony. The brain evolved to preserve group belonging. Conflict meant risk, so it smooths tension by assigning yourself the lower position. That way the relationship feels safe, but safety bought this way is expensive. You pay with leverage. Frame theft happens inside you first. Once you accept a story where you are less central, you begin to act it out. Your tone softens. You add extra words. You wait longer than you want. None of this is conscious. It feels reasonable. That is why it works. The override is neutrality. Not optimism, not suspicion, not suspicion. Neutrality. Silence means nothing until proven otherwise. No story, no meaning, no emotional math. You refuse to fill the gap. You let the moment remain unfinished. This takes discipline because the urge to explain feels moral. It is not. It is protective behavior from an older version of you. You are allowed to withhold interpretation. You are allowed to stay level. When you respond, do it from that neutral ground. No apology for timing. No justification for presence. Speak as if the interaction continues on your terms because it does. Neutrality communicates self-containment. People sense when you are not negotiating your place. Over time, this resets the dynamic. You stop shrinking in invisible ways. Others either meet your level or reveal their intentions. Both outcomes are useful. Frame is not asserted by force. It is maintained by what you refuse to believe about yourself. The moment you stop lowering your own status, the theft ends. Anticipation feels passive, but it is not. It is work imposed on your nervous system. When you wait for a reply, your attention narrows around the single unresolved point. The brain treats uncertainty as unfinished business. Cortisol rises to keep the problem active. Memory space gets occupied. Creativity drops. You feel restless without knowing why. Nothing moves yet. Everything feels heavy. This is paralysis. Not because you cannot act, but because your mind is tethered. You keep one eye on the screen. Tasks stretch longer. Decisions feel harder. You are present everywhere except where you are. The waiting becomes the center of gravity. People underestimate how visible this state is. Anticipation leaks into tone and timing. When you finally respond, there is often urgency hidden in the words, not neediness. Urgency. That signal lowers perceived rank. It tells the other person they controlled your focus without asking. The override is immediate redirection. Not distraction, redirection. The moment a message is sent, your attention moves to a parallel priority that already matters. Work with momentum. Physical movement. something that demands full presence. This cuts the cortisol loop before it settles. Do not hover. Hovering feeds the loop. The brain reads checking as progress even when nothing changes. That false progress keeps you stuck. Remove the stimulus. Silence the device. Place it out of reach. Give your body proof that waiting is unnecessary. Over time, your system learns a new association. Unanswered signals no longer equal threat, they equal space. Space for action, space for choice. This is how authority feels internally, not loud, not rigid, grounded. When attention is no longer hostage, your responses change. They arrive without charge. Neutral, stable. That stability shifts the exchange. Others feel they cannot hijack you with absence. This is not about productivity tricks. It is about reclaiming cognitive territory. Whoever holds your attention holds influence. When you starve anticipation, you starve their leverage. Paralysis ends the moment you decide that nothing outside your control deserves your focus. The world does not slow down for your waiting. Neither should you. Being always available feels generous, but it reads as cheap. The limbic brain does not measure worth by effort. It measures by access. When access is unlimited, value drops. This is not cruelty, it is biology. Resources that are scarce command attention. Resources that are constant fade into background noise. Constant readiness tells the silent story. You have nothing else demanding you. Your time is flexible. Your focus is open. The nervous system of others registers this as low rank, not consciously. Instinctively, they feel no urgency to secure you because you are already there. This is the availability tax. Every fast reply, every open window, every immediate adjustment charges a little more. Over time, your presence loses weight. You are seen as supportive but not central, helpful but not decisive. The correction is visible scarcity paired with predictability, not chaos, not disappearing acts. You create blocks of absence that are consistent, times when you do not respond because you are engaged elsewhere. Work, training, building, the reason does not matter. The pattern does. Predictability stabilizes the relationship while scarcity restores value. People learn your rhythm and adjust to it. They plan around you instead of pulling you in. That shift changes everything. Do not announce your absence. Announcements look like seeking permission. Simply be unavailable. When you return, respond cleanly and move forward. No apology. No explanation. Presence resumes without drama. This trains both sides. You stop orienting around incoming signals. They stop expecting instant access. Respect grows in the gap. Scarcity is not distance, it is structure. It tells the world your time has shape. Shape implies purpose. Purpose implies rank. When availability is earned rather than assumed, alliances strengthen. Attraction sharpens. Negotiations improve. All without a single confrontation. You are not withholding. You are prioritizing, and the limbic system understands that language better than words. People mirror power without realizing it. Timing and tone adjust automatically to whoever feels higher in the moment. Faster replies flow upward. Slower replies flow downward. Emotion follows the same rule. Those seeking approval show more of it. Those in control show less. This is not strategy. It is reflex. The nervous system reads rank and aligns behavior to avoid friction. When you respond quickly with warmth while the other side responds slowly and flat, you create a slope. Energy travels one way. Status follows it. Mirroring dominance begins by reversing that slope internally. Not by copying delays with resentment, but by compressing emotional output. Fewer words. Calmer tone, neutral pacing. Your message carries information, not urgency. This removes the signal that you are reaching upward. Extending response windows is the second move, not randomly. Consistently, your timing becomes even and unreactive. Excitement does not speed you up. Absence does not slow you down. This stability breaks the automatic mirroring loop. People feel this shift before they understand it. Interactions become quieter, cleaner. There is less pull, less testing. Some will lean in, others will fade. Both reactions reveal the true dynamic, do not explain the change. Explanation reintroduces hierarchy, let behavior speak. When your tone stays level regardless of theirs, you occupy higher ground. Kings do not modulate mood based on messengers. This requires restraint. Emotion wants release. The urge to clarify, to reassure, to soften, resist it. Compression is not coldness, it is control. You are not removing humanity, you are removing leakage. Over time, others begin to match you, replies stabilize. Tone neutralizes, mirroring flips direction. This is dominance without force. Rank is rarely declared. It is inferred from consistency. When your timing and tone stop bending, the environment recalibrates around you. Mirroring upward is not about winning exchanges. It is about refusing to signal need. And in social systems, need always points downward. The need for closure feels rational, but it is chemical. Unresolved interactions create a dopamine deficit. The brain wants the loop closed to release tension. That craving pushes you to follow up, to clarify, to settle the feeling. Not because it matters, but because your system wants relief. This is where leverage leaks. The person who needs resolution first gives it away. Every check-in, every "are you there?" every soft nudge signals imbalance. You want the loop closed more than they do. The nervous system on the other side feels that pull and relaxes. They are no longer the one at risk. Closure addiction forms early. As children, resolution meant safety, questions answered, faces returned. Adults carry that wiring into modern exchanges where silence is often strategic. The biology does not know the difference. The override is tolerance. Not indifference, tolerance, tolerance. You allow the loop to stay open without chasing relief. You let the discomfort pass through without acting on it. This is not passive. It is active restraint. Open loops create gravity. When you do not rush to close them, others feel the imbalance instead. Curiosity shifts. Pressure moves outward. They begin to seek resolution from you. This is leverage without aggression. Most people cannot tolerate this. They break first. They send the extra message. They explain. They apologize for nothing. When you do not join that reflex, you stand apart. Do not fill silence with reassurance. Reassurance lowers tension but also lowers rank. Let uncertainty exist. It clarifies intentions faster than questions ever will. This does not mean withholding important communication. It means refusing to manage emotions that are not yours. Clarity offered too early robs the exchange of truth. Powerful people live comfortably with unfinished threads. They trust outcomes without chasing them. This is felt as confidence. The moment you stop needing closure, you gain optionality. You can engage or disengage without urgency. Choice returns. Closure is a drug. Tolerance is freedom. When you break the addiction, leverage stops bleeding and begins to collect. The most dangerous part is not the delay, it is what it teaches you about yourself. They do not need to reply late forever, only long enough to rewire you. Long enough for your nervous system to kneel, long enough for you to confuse patience with virtue. But we must go deeper. The real enemy is not them. It is the part of you that fears being forgotten. Carl Jung called this the shadow. The disowned hunger for control and recognition. When you deny it, you become harmless. A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a dangerous man who has his darkness under voluntary control. Here is how you apply this. Starting tomorrow, Protocol 1, the tempo reset. When a message is delayed, you do nothing, no checking, no narratives. You continue your task until the next natural break. You must hold the line. You must hold the line. You must hold the line. Protocol 2. The delayed mirror. You respond once with clarity and warmth, then you extend the next response window slightly beyond theirs, not as revenge. As calibration, you are teaching the nervous system a new hierarchy. Protocol 3. The frame anchor. You decide in advance your response windows for the day, and you honor them regardless of incoming signals. Kings do not sprint to knocks. Architects do not abandon blueprints. Understand this transformation. You are no longer the one waiting. You are the one being waited on. You are no longer reactive. You are deliberate. Your presence becomes heavier because it is not always available. But I must warn you, most people will feel this truth and retreat. They will label it cold. They will call it ego. Those words protect their habits. The real enemy is the part of you that wants comfort more than command. If this opened your eyes, understand, this is only what can be shown publicly. There are aspects of dark psychology that cannot survive the algorithm. Those exist behind the join button. Most will not click it. That is the point. Drop this affirmation in comments. My time sets the frame. Subscribe if you have not. I will see you in the shadows.